Greetings, the professor. We are the group number one, letter A, and the topic that we are going to talk about is linguistic in the second language performs. The members of the group are Freire Cajas Ángela Michelle, Gorosabel Basurto Ángelo Evander, Peña Guevara Daniela Nicole, Rumipamba Cuenca Alex Israel y Yaulema Reyes Elsa Alexandra.
Good evening. My name is Elsa Yaulema. I am going to talk about monitor model gradients. Um, and compared to the other three theories. Uh, Characteristics. Comprehensible input. I must one. Language exposure should be slightly more advanced than the learned level. Acquisition versus learning. The importance of natural language acquisition emphasizes over formal learning of rules. Affective filtering. Emotional and motivational factors significantly influence language acquisition. Monitoring. Conscious monitoring of language should not interfere with fluency. Natural order. Language acquisition follows a predictable order as far as linguistic elements are concerned. A natural manner learning should occur in a real communicative environment.
Error Analyze Corder. Error Analyze studies students' error as indicators of the learning process, showing that K are systematic and reflect their interlanguage. This contrasting with other theories like contrasting analyze focus on difference between the first language and the second language to predict errors. And however, it doesn't explain developmental errors which error analysis does. Interlanguage theory suggests that the students create their own linguistic system that involves overtime, but theory see errors as part of the learning, but error analysis is more practical for identify specific problems. A crossing monitor model sees error as the result of incomplete acquisition and limit conscious learning. This model is less useful in the classroom while error analysis helps correct and guide learning. In conclusion, error analysis is a key tool to identify and understand students' difficulties, helping improve their language learning process. Thank you.
Good evening, teacher. Today I'm going to explain about contrastive analysis, CA. This is a linguistic approach that compares two languages to identify similarities and differences predicting areas of the difficulty for language. In this case, affecting the learners based on the assumption that differences cause learning challenge. This approach, in contrast with Stephen Krashen's monitor model, which emphasized natural language acquisition, suggesting that conscious learning plays a minimal role in language development. In contrast, contrastive analysis focused on explicit comparison and prediction. Similarly, error analysis by Corder shifts attention from merely comparing language to analyze learners' actual errors, viewing them as an indicators of learning process that are other than verbose. Meanwhile, the universal grammar proposed by Noam Chomsky argues that humans have an innate language, faculty reducing the relevance of comparing specific language pairs, while CA, this conclusive analysis, highlights structural contracts to prevent errors the other models, or in this case, focus on the internal cognitive mechanisms and the natural emerge of language patterns. Thank you.
Greetings, the professor. My name is Angelo, and I'm going to talk about the universal grammar. In this part, we are going to have a central and main idea. All children are born with the innate ability to learn any human language. In this part, we have to differ between two important concepts: linguistic competence and performance. Linguistic competence is related with the knowledge that we have about language, grammar structure, rules, and so on. but linguistic performance is the correct use of the language in a specific situation. Such knowledge of language goes beyond what could be learned from the input people receive. That's it. We are how teacher, we and parents. We only need to speak around the child and that help him or her to produce a language on their own for the language acquisition device. The language acquisition device are part in the brain that help in the language acquisitions. Thank you very much.
And today I explain how universal grammar compares with three important theories, the monitor model, error analysis, and constructive analysis. First, the monitor model by Krashen. Krashen focuses on comprehensible input and the affective filter, meaning learners need to understand the language they hear and feel comfortable with learning. This is similar to universal grammar because both emphasize the learner's internal ability to acquire language. However, universal grammar doesn't rely on input as the main driver. Instead, it focuses on the innate structures present in every human brain. The second, error analysis by Corday. Error analysis studies the mistake learners make to understand their creativity processes when building a language rule. It's similar to universal grammar because both recognize the learner's creativity. However, universal grammar doesn't analyze specific errors. Instead, it focuses on the universal principles and parameters that guide language learning. Finally, constructive analysis by Lado. This theory compares a learning first language with the second language to predict difficulties and design effective teaching strategies. Like universal grammar, it identifies patterns between language, but universal grammar doesn't depend on comparing first language and second language. Instead, it focuses on universal grammar rules shared by all human language. In summary, universal grammar is unique because it highlights the innate biological ability to learn in language, while the other theory focus more on external factors like input errors or language difference. Thank you.